Hello and Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to teach you parts of speech with examples. So without further ado, let's get into the video straight away. So if you Google the word parts of speech, you will find this definition that says it is a noun. That parts of speech, the word parts of speech is a noun and it is defined as a category to which a word is assigned in accordance with its syntactic functions. So don't get confused with this wordy definition. What you need to know is that parts of speech is nothing but how a word is used in a sentence. So whenever there is a sentence, it is made up of different words, right? So in that words, these words are given some category or some class, and that class is known as parts of speech. In this video, I will help you explain how you can identify those parts of speech in any sentence. First of all, you need to know how many parts of speech are there. There are 9 parts of speech. They are also known as word classes: nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs, adverbs, articles, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. So let's begin with noun. What is noun? Noun is nothing but a word that names something. For example, you name a person, you can also name a place, you name a thing, or just an idea. In any sentence, noun can play the role of subject, direct object, indirect object, subject complement, object complement, appositive, or adjective. Now don't get confused with these. If you don't know about anything in this sentence, don't worry about it. I'll explain what a noun is and you can identify those nouns. For example, noun can name a person. For example, Albert Einstein, president, my mother, girl, boy. These are all nouns because these are naming a person. It can be a proper noun or a common noun. A proper noun is something that names someone specifically, like Albert Einstein, like Hamid. But a common noun is something that names a person commonly, like a girl or a boy. So it's not specific to any particular girl or a particular boy. So after explaining how it names a person, I'm going to explain how it can also name things. Although sometimes they might be intangible things, like it's not compulsory that the thing is physical, like a glass, a bottle, but it can be intangible, like a concept, an activity, or a process. Some might even be hypothetical or imaginary things, such as freedom. Now, freedom is something abstract. You cannot really touch freedom. It's a concept, right? So let's now explain pronoun. A pronoun is defined as a word that takes the place of a noun. So if you understand what is a noun, you will easily understand what is a pronoun. For example, when we write different sentences, I want to talk about Sarah and I say Sarah has always loved fashion, and then in the next sentence I repeat Sarah announced that she wants to go to fashion school. Now when I replace Sarah with she, it means she is taking the place of a noun Sarah. Hence she is a pronoun. Get it? If you understand pronoun, let's understand what is adjective. Adjective is a part of speech that describe the quality or state of being of noun. The noun which names anything, adjective modifies it. It adds quality to noun. For example, Margot wore a beautiful hat to the pie eating contest. Now if we see, hat here is a noun and beautiful is adding a meaning to it. If you question this sentence, that which hat, it answers beautiful. It adds meaning to hat. It qualifies hat. Hence beautiful is an adjective. In the next sentence, furry dogs may overheat in the summertime. Dogs is a noun and furry is adding a meaning to it, is qualifying it. So furry is an adjective here. My cake should have 16 candles. Try to identify a noun and an adjective that is qualifying it. Take your time. Okay, so Candles here is a noun, and 16 is adding a quality or modifying it. Hence 16 is an adjective here. In all these three sentences, adjectives are easy to spot because they come immediately before the noun they modify. Beautiful comes before hat, furry comes before dogs, and 16 comes before candles. We're done with adjective. Now I'll explain verb. Verb tell you what the subject of a noun or clause is doing. Verbs are conjugated according to person, name, number, gender, tense, aspect, mood or voice. Verb is basically something that is being done or is in that state. Verbs are at the heart of sentences and clauses, and they are indispensable to the formation of a complete thought. A verb can express a thought by itself and be understood. For example, run. Now, run is a clear action. When I say she ran, now what is she doing, right? She is running. Now, run here is a clear verb that you can identify. Another example can be believe. She believes. What state is she in? In the state of belief, right? So, believe here is a verb. I hope you understand verb. And now I get to explaining adverb. If adverb is defined, it is defined in terms that it is a word that modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb, or even a whole sentence, right? For example, he sings loudly. Now, sing here is a verb, and loudly is modifying it or adding meaning to it, right? So, loudly here is an adverb. Very tall. Here, tall is an adjective, right? Tall must be some noun, right? So, tall is adding meaning to any noun like tall boy, tall girl, tall building. So, tall is an adjective, and very is adding meaning to it or modifying it. Hence, very is an adverb. Adverb can also modify another adverb like ended too quickly. Now, quickly here is an adverb, and too is adding meaning to it or modifying it. So, too is an adverb here. It can also modify a whole sentence like fortunately I had brought an umbrella. I had brought an umbrella is a sentence, and fortunately is adding meaning to it or modifying it. Hence, fortunately here is an adverb. Adverbs often end in ly, so you can easily identify it. Like in these two sentences, he sings loudly and ended too quickly. And even in the fortunately had brought an umbrella, loudly, quickly, and fortunately, all three adverbs end with ly. But it's not necessary that they end with ly. Like very tall. The sentence very tall, very did not end in ly, but it was still an adverb adding meaning to tall or modifying tall. Such as fast, they look exactly the same as their adjective counterparts. If we give further examples, these are some examples. Tom Longboard did not run badly. Badly here is an adverb. Tom is very tall. Very is an adverb. The race finished too quickly. Quickly is an adverb. Fortunately, Lucy recorded Tom's win. Here, fortunately is an adverb. Now I'll explain what are articles. Articles are words that define a noun as specific or unspecific. Consider the following examples. After the long day, the cup of tea tasted particularly good. Now here the article used is the, and when you use it, we show that it was one specific day that was long and one specific cup of tea that tasted particularly good, right? So the here is an article used twice. And if we give another example, after a long day, a cup of tea tastes particularly good. By using the word article a, we have created a general statement implying that any cup of tea would taste good after any long day. So the is used for particular in a particular way, and a is used in a generic way. Generally, there are three articles: a, an, and the. An is used with vowels, and a and the are used with consonants. Now if we define prepositions, preposition indicate relationships between other words in a sentence. Many prepositions tell you where something is and when something happened. Most prepositions have several definitions, so meaning change quite a bit in different contexts. Ending a sentence with a preposition is not a grammatical error. So what does a preposition do? Preposition basically connects the sentence. It can be in between nouns, it can be in between noun and verb, noun and adverb. So I'll give you some examples and you will understand what I'm trying to say. So for example, I should rewrite the introduction of my essay. In this sentence, of is a preposition that is indicating the relationship between other words in introduction and my essay, right? It is telling that something happened or something is being happened. Sam left his jacket in the car. In this sentence, in is a preposition that is connecting the rest of sentence. Now if I define conjunctions, conjunctions are words similar to prepositions. They connect words, phrases or clauses together. For example, I like cooking and eating, but I don't like washing dishes together. Now in this sentence there are two clauses, I like cooking and eating and I don't like washing dishes afterward, and the word that connects them is but. So but is a conjunction. In another example, Sophie is clearly exhausted, yet she insists on dancing till dawn. In this sentence, there are two clauses. Sophie is clearly exhausted and she insists on dancing till dawn. And yet is connecting them. Hence, yet is a conjunction here. What does a conjunction do? Conjunctions allow to form complex, elegant sentences and avoid the choppiness of multiple short sentences. And the phrases joined by conjunctions are usually parallel, that they share the same structure. Like by this we mean that, for example, in the sentences above, I like cooking and eating, and the second sentence has also the same structure. It just says I don't like washing dishes afterward, right? So both have the same structure. Interjection is the last parts of speech that I am going to explain. If you have ever said any of these words, ouch, oh my, wow or yikes, you have used an interjection in your daily life. You didn't know that it was an interjection, but now you know, right? So the word interjection comes after Latin words inter and jacere. Inter means between and jacere means to throw, and it's nothing but something that explains or shows feelings or thoughts. For example, alas is used when something sad happens, like alas, his father is dead, or hurrah, we won the match, right? So hurrah here is an interjection. I'm done with parts of speech. I'll give a summary that there are 9 parts of speech in total: noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, article, preposition, conjunctions and interjections. I hope you get my point and understand parts of speech now. Here the video ends, and I would like to say goodbye to all of you and have a nice day. Allah Hafiz and bye.